A day before Thanksgiving, Governor Eddie Calvo signed legislation into public law appropriating $450,000 for the compensation to farmers for the crop damages program. The bill was authored by Senator Ben Pangilinan, who has since criticized the governor for doing a line-item veto that decreased its amount from the past $790,000 total appropriation.
That's more than enough than what is necessary for the claims. So I'm hopeful that the senator will see that we've accomplished the purpose of his bill.
Governor Eddie Calvo had line item vetoed the appropriation to adjust the amount from GITA to $60,000 instead because he felt there are significant resources already available to assist farmers.
Then on top of that, there's $200,000 that we found from surplus funds to also help our farmers. That's $650,000.
GITA had opposed the measure because part of the appropriation came from GITA's bond service fees received through GWA's bond sale that were already earmarked for future operational shortfalls. Senator Ben Pangilinan, who has repeatedly been unavailable for comment, but in a release stated the governor was taking, quote, punitive action against our hardworking farmers, end quote, adding, quote, it is truly ironic that the governor chose to reduce funds to our farmers who drive economic development and give it to an agency that has specific purpose to support economic development, end quote. He has since stated he'll pursue an override of the governor's line item veto.
I'm hopeful that he's not doing this for destructive purposes, just to hurt GITA, which needs this as operating funds. In fact, they would even tap into their reserve funds.
Agriculture Director Tita Taitigui, meanwhile, supports the governor's actions.
I concur with the governor because I feel that that amount is sufficient to compensate the farmers for their loss because of the fact that, this is not a heavy typhoon like we had in Chataan or Pangsuan.
She adds farmers should already be aware and anticipate that heavy rains are expected between September and November. She further does not support any attempt to override the governor's line item veto, adding she understands funding is always limited and there are other needs within the government. So when should farmers expect any kind of cash? She says there's still a process to take into account, and just like farmers waiting for crops to grow, asks for their patience.
I am hoping this week that we will get that money out.
But
that's just like about 50% of what they're getting, and the other 50% will be covered with when the legislature, appropriate it and put it into our funding.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.